Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the One Point Safety Show with myself, Scott Hartley, and my amazing co-host, Scouse Andy. How are you, mate? All right, bud?
I'm good, pal. Yeah, I'm good. How are things with you, man?
All good, mate. It's mad having a week off, but yeah, man, it should be a good show. As always, bud, we'll do our usual sponsors. So Dunstable Town FC's Talking of Town podcast, where they're sponsor for the season. So if you're into non-league football, go ahead, go and give them a follow and a subscribe. Also sponsored by Oddballs, so you can go across to myoddballs.com, go and check them out and see what's going on there. We're also sponsored by Fusion Therapeutics, which is fusiontherapeutics.co.uk. They provide expert MSK assessment and treatment with a focus on holistic care dedicated to improve your well-being through tailored musculoskeletal health plans. The team offer specialist injection therapy and non-medical independent prescribing. So if you're in the Northwest, Manchester or the Cheshire area, give the team a call on 01606 512 013, or you can book online and the team will be happy to advise you further on this affordable treatment solution. So we'll get into it then, mate. As always, bit of news. The first bit of news we've got is the Commanders have got the global NFL marketing rights for the UAE. So obviously they're after that Dubai money. Obviously, initially last year they were broken up into various different areas, and we didn't get an area to obviously go off. So it was a bit like, oh, why haven't we done that? You know, Kansas City got Germany, other areas were all over the place. I mean, the Jags got UK, Steelers got Ireland. So it's like, what are we going to do? And now looking at it, it's that Dubai money, mate. That's what they're after. So the UAE is obviously where we're at. So we've been given the rights to that. What are your thoughts on that, mate?
I mean, it is actually a big market, and I understand there's money there. There's obviously a lot of money there, but is it actually a good NFL market? I don't even know. I've not seen many people from the UAE come over to say the UK games, so I'm unsure. I'm unsure how good that's going to be for them. Obviously, they must have done the research because they wouldn't have took it otherwise, would they? So there must be value in taking those rights. But to be fair, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm unsure. I'm unsure about it, to be honest. What about you?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't really know the ins and outs of it. As you said, is it a huge, is it a huge market that's been untapped potential? Possibly. But I mean, if you look at the way that the Saudis and others have around that sort of Middle East area have taken over sport, especially Saudi with the PIF fund and taken over Newcastle.
Oh yeah, I mean that's
over,
that's like Liverpool or Man City,
boxing and all them.
Yeah,
you've got Qatar as well. Owners of PSG in football. So it's the money is in the Middle East. Do you know what I mean? That is where where it's all at. That's the oil money and other bits and pieces. So
the difference for me is that's different when you're trying to look at like a fan perspective, as in trying to get more fans from that area compared to owners. Because let's face it, all the wealth is in that top 1% of people over there. So, do you think that the NFL would allow a UAE owner as a franchise owner in the NFL?
Sure, mate. I don't know.
It's who you know over there, isn't it? It really is.
Of course it is,
it's so close knit, and everyone's got to agree on the new owner of any team that goes in there. So I think that'd be a lot harder to get in, even though they've got serious wong to be able to throw at buying a team. So I think it'd be more for that more than I think fans. But don't mean for us. I mean in general for the NFL itself.
Yeah, I mean, marketing-wise, it's probably a really good move, but it's difficult from a fan's perspective, as you said, because you're sitting there thinking, what are they? What are we actually getting out of this? And obviously, time zones and other bits and pieces is hard enough when you're watching over here in Europe, rather than being Middle East, which is another 2 hours further on than we are at times. So it's difficult. You know what I mean? It's a difficult one.
It happens in Europe though, which is they're an hour ahead of us usually. So it's not if it's only 2 hours, it's probably not massively different for them. But yeah, I think it's quite a difficult one. But I understand why, as long as they've got some analytics behind it. I'm sure they have. Maybe they've got a lot of people who tune into the original Commanders pod or loads of sales over there already online or something to say, well, actually, that could be a good opportunity besides just saying, oh, well, lots of people over there are loaded. You know, I like to think there's more to it than just that.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I agree with you. Maybe it's one that we'll revisit and we'll see where that goes. I mean, it isn't a specific partnership. It was just that that's the global marketing rights from the NFL has been given to us as their like designated team, almost, if you want, for want of a better term. It's a strange one, but there you go. Commanders have announced that the 2025 Ed Block Courage Award recipient, this came out earlier today. So last year in 2024, the winner of the Ed Block Courage Award was Jeremy Reeves, the safety. This time round, the Commanders didn't name a player, but on Wednesday, the Commanders announced the winner as trainer Al Bellamy. Bellamy received the award. It's not just a simply result of the Commanders moving the award around to various different departments. Last year, when the recipient was named, the organisation declared each December NFL teams vote for a player of their team who is a role model in courage, inspiration and sportsmanship. But word is that head coach Dan Quinn, who nominated Bellamy, he's not a player, and it was for a solid reason. Last year, Bellamy was diagnosed with cancer. Despite treatment and illness, Bellamy continued to strive and work hard to contribute to the Commanders' 2024 success. Searching online, there basically isn't a word about his diagnosis. It's impossible to find it. Honestly, if you look, there's nothing. His dedication and commitment to the Commanders was evident, as the team is proud to honour him with they've got an actual, from Ed Block, the Ed Block Courage Award. They've given it overall to Al Bellamy. So congratulations to Al. In the face of his harshness battle, what the Ed Block Courage Foundation wrote, they wrote its perseverance in the face of the harshest battle. Block was an athletic trainer for the old Baltimore Colts from 1954 to 77. He served in the U.S. Army as an officer in World War II, and he was also a physical therapist for disabled children in Baltimore. So that's where the Ed Block part of it comes for. But congratulations to Al Bellamy, who has received that award. So yeah, man, well done to him.
And what coach is he again? Remind me. What coach?
He is one of our strength and conditioning coaches.
Strength and conditioning. Okay. Yeah. Brilliant.
So good for him, man. He's obviously in our strength department. I think he's actually a physical therapist, as they call it over there. Okay. So I think he's actually in your world. You know what I mean? In that side of life. So good for him, and I hope he's through his cancer battle and he gets better soon. Do you know what I mean? So good for him. Another roster move, mate, this week. So we have added an IPP player. So Washington Commanders have signed defensive end TJ Maganurag, I think is how you pronounce it. I can't obviously spell it.
Isn't that the guy you're going to say on draft day?
I hope not. So he's obviously on our active roster as the 54th person, if you want, for want of a better term. He was a member of the International Player Pathway this year. So he's named as one of the 13 players from the 2025 class. That was in December they were named. We haven't heard or seen much, from the IPP actually, even over this side through social media or anything like that. He was born in Harare in Zimbabwe. He's a professional rugby player. He's fullback by trade, Scouse. He was played most recently for Clermont Auvergne. So very, very, very good side. I've actually watched him play rugby. So I watched him last season against the Newcastle Falcons. I watched him live 2 years ago as well when he played for the Bulls, who are a South African team. Scored 2 tries that day against us. Also, earlier in his career, he played under 16s back home in Zimbabwe. He's represented the country at under 18s as the Sevens. And he was also the Golden Knights from South Africa. He was their captain in 2020. So he's got a really extensive rugby union career. But obviously it's a totally different thing moving from rugby union into the world of the NFL. I mean, how many have we seen now? We've got 4 I can think of off the top of my head. Lewis Rees-Zammit, explosive winger, fantastic player, top of his game, playing for the Lions, playing for Wales. He's, Jags practice squad. Didn't make it with the Chiefs. You've got someone as well, top try scorer in the entire Guinness Premiership as it was. One of England's top try scorers in Christian Wade. Didn't make it with the Bills. Alex Gray, who I've played rugby with, was at Atlanta Falcons for 4 years, couldn't make it as a tight end. So do you see what I mean? There's a trend here going on, and I don't want to, play down on the guy. I wish him the absolute best, but as an IPP player playing,
it's hard, isn't it? It's tough, isn't it?
As a D end as well, it's like you're a 15. You know what I mean? And 15s, for those who don't, and those who are on on the state side, maybe listening to the pod or watching it live, the fullback is basically the guy at the back who catches the ball, almost like a punt returner. For want of a better time, and they've got good eyes, they've got fast speed, they've got good hips, they can move and swerve in and out. They catch the ball and they run with it as far as they possibly can. They tend to be on the end trying to score tries as well, to push forward and do things that way. I don't know the ins and outs of playing fullback, being a fat forward myself, but it is they've always got good hands, good speed, good eyes, and they can take contact and they can dish it out as well. So. It's a strange one, mate, to pick this guy up, but wish him the best. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be a tough learning curve.
I mean, I know he's going to try and play D end, but maybe it might be a case of that he might play punt returner.
Possibly, it really might be that.
No, he's going to. At the moment, we have got an opening at punt returner because we haven't re-signed Crowder. So
punt or kick, whichever. Do you know what I mean? Whichever they want to do, because. I think if you're in cleats or you're in boots, whatever you want to call them, you're on a field and you've got natural God-given ability of speed. Mate, this guy's a Zimbabwe Sevens captain. If you ever watch Sevens, you know as well as I do, it is an awful game to play because you've got 7 players on an entire rugby pitch and it is nails. Ask John Taman, he loved the Sevens at the Olympics, so he'll tell you it's a great sport to watch. If you've ever played it, it's horrendous. You have to be extremely fit.
Yeah.
So man, it's I wish him the best of luck, but gonna be hard for TJ to. We're not even pronouncing his surname. We're just going to call him TJ.
TJ, sounds better. Yeah, I'd say, and it's hard. I say most. As you mentioned before, all ex-rugby guys have not really made it, and there's not many.
The only one I can think of that's
really
well, obviously FA's flying the flag, isn't he? You've got Jacob Martin, I think, from the Patriots. He did well.
The problem is that they don't know the game. Because they play a completely different sport. Yes, there's obviously traits that kind of correlate at times, but there's a lot more to it. It's all about the kind of it's the X's and O's that I think a lot of these guys struggle with more than anything else. Because athletically they're there. They're probably got good hands, good enough to catch the ball. When it comes to them, and even vision. Let's say this guy we've got. Say he's all about the vision. He might be a great punt returner, but you never know. But again, there's more about X's and O's, especially if you're going to try and play properly as well, like a DM position, or there's a lot more to it than just trying to run a quarterback. So it's I think that's where we fall down. It's in like the international player pathways. There's only a few guys that have really, really nailed it and become elite. I think like Mailata is probably like the best, like true elite player. That's probably
he was rugby league though, wasn't he?
He was rugby league as well. I was saying there's not many of those guys that have become IPP, ex-rugby, and then go to the elite level of.
I mean the thing with him with Mailata was you're looking at him, he's having to put on 70 pounds on top of what his rugby frame was. If you actually look back at when he played for South Sydney Rabbitohs, if you have a look at them and you look at his pictures there, you're like, this dude's like half the size of what he is now. He's like so slight, but and then to be a top offensive lineman, it's like, wow, okay, you know what I mean? This is ridiculous. But yeah, we wish him well and we hope for the best. Not sure what happens after that. But we'll wait and see. On the FA front, I haven't heard anything from him. He basically said thanks, and he came back and said, tell Scouse and obviously yourself, thanks for all your support and everything over the few years, but I'll get back to you with what's going on in the off-season. So all I know is he's having a well-earned break at the minute, so we'll hope to maybe catch up with him.
Isn't he probably still rehabbing that leg, isn't he?
Yeah, he will be. Well, no, he was fit. He played a few games towards the end of the season.
I know he came back, but it's obviously being fit and
there's been match absolute sharpness in their game ready. Yeah, I know what you mean. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Who knows? It might be one of them, maybe training camp invites, and then you try and fight your way onto a roster that way, or practice squad, whatever. But we wish him the best either way. So yeah, man, it's always been good to the pod and good to us. So
sure.
Yeah, best of luck. Another question, mate. A little weird one here. So this is one that came up, and I thought about it, and I thought, wonder if we can discuss this on the pod. And I thought we'll have a good look. So it's 25 years. Since realistically we started looking at having really good first round picks there or thereabouts. So my question to you, Scouts, is who are your top 5 Redskins, Washington football team, stroke Commanders as we are now, first round draft picks of the last 25 years? So we'll go from 2000 to now. And it doesn't have to be in a particular order. Just give me them and tell me who you think are our top 5 picks, and we'll see whether we're the same or not.
Let's face it, we haven't had many top in the first round. If you think about it going back that far, I'd probably say Chris Samuels is one.
He is on the list, definitely.
Yeah. Chris Samuels. I think he was 2000. I think
2000 from Alabama, offensive tackle in the third overall. Yeah. I wonder how many we're going to have the same.
Obviously, Sean T is going to be on there.
Sean T, yeah, that was my next one.
It's going to be on there.
Yeah, 5th overall, 2004.
Trent Williams got to be on there, surely.
Yes, that's my third. Yeah, 3 for 3, Scouts. 3 for 3. Offensive tackle, he was 4th overall out of Oklahoma in 2010. Let's see if we can get the other 2. And I'll give you a hint. I said JD5.
Yeah, and now I think it's with JD. Again, it's about criteria, isn't it? He's on one great season. So if you go off one great season, do you have RG there then as well?
I suppose. Don't care. He's on my list.
That's why I didn't put him on my list. Just purely because he's just up 1 year. So for me, let's have a look. Oh yeah. Ooh yeah. I think you just got to be on there. Surely you got to put Kerrigan on there.
Yeah, that's my final one. Kerrigan, yeah. Well done. Yeah. 16th overall out of Purdue in 2011. So yeah, who was your other one then? I want to see who your other one was if you're not picking Jaden Daniels or RG.
I'm not going to pick. No, I'm definitely not picking RG. I'd probably say. Depends really. You could go LeVar Arrington. He was good, but he wasn't great. Yeah. Carlos Rogers was good.
Mm-hmm.
Or Sakpo. You can even go with something like Brian Arakpo there.
Yeah. Was he our first round draft pick? Brian Arakpo.
Yeah, Brian Arakpo.
Yeah, you've probably got to give it Arakpo, I suppose. That's an honourable mention.
I also like Brandon Sheriff as well before he went. So
yeah, very good. Very good. True.
I'll probably go Sheriff, and then obviously eventually it'll be JD and move Sheriff out.
Would you go John Allen or Jerome Payne? Do any of them even
they don't
come
Make
close?
top 5 first rounders ever for the last 25 years now. But to be fair, let me just go through how many draft picks you had, because I've got a list here from 2000.
Go on.
So it's going to be from 2000 and going through 1, 2, you know what I mean, like that.
Yeah.
So we had 2 first rounders in the 2000 draft. We had LeVar.
Yeah, who was us? Was it LeVar? Was us?
LeVar Arrington was number 2. Oh, we had number 2, number 3.
2 and 3, yeah, 2 and 3. Chris Samuels was 3, wasn't he? So
yeah. So we had Arrington, Samuels. Can you remember the guy in 2001?
No idea.
The guy sucks, man. Rod Gardner, wide receiver, Clemson. He sucked. He was number 15 overall. The year after, we took a quarterback. Can you remember who that is? 2002?
Nope.
No, Patrick Ramsey.
10 years before my time.
Patrick Ramsey. Should be from Hungary, man. Patrick Ramsey, quarterback. 2003, we didn't have one. 2004, we had Sean T. 2005, we had Carlos Rogers. And then we also had our mate Jason Campbell.
Yeah.
Awful quarterback. 2006 didn't have one. 2007, we had LaRon Landry.
Yeah, Landry, yeah. He was okay. Yeah, he was okay.
2008, no pick. 2009 was Arakpo. 2010 was Trent Williams. 11 was Kerrigan. 12 was Griffin.
Yeah.
13 and 14 didn't have one because of Griffin's trade.
Yep.
15 was Sheriff, or Sheriff, what you want to call him. 2016, the great Josh Doxson.
Wow.
Yeah. 2017, we had Jonathan Allen. 18,
Allen,
19 was Haskins and Sweat.
Wow, yeah.
20, Trace Young. 21, Jamin Davis. 2022, Jahan Dotson. 3, Forbes, and then JD last year. So,
wow,
yeah, we've had
that
four dudes there, bro. We've had so many.
Them Ron drafts, wow.
Awful.
Just wow. The last three are like, you're like, oh. I mean, Chase Young, you couldn't have denied him that pick. Chase Young was the right pick at the right time.
And it was his first, and it was Ron's first draft as well. It's like, you just got there and thought, you know what, this is a no-brainer. You know, it should have been a no-brainer. After the first year, you think, it was the right decision. Defensive rookie of the year, played great for us. Then the injury and everything went peak-tongue after that. But yeah, I mean, there's some bad players here. Josh Dotson, man. Dotson, sorry.
Yeah,
the man
Dotson,
Dotson. Yeah. We had Dotson and Dotson, and they're both pesh.
Terrible, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Jason Campbell, big-time bust as well. Patrick Ramsey, big-time bust. Rod Gardner, big-time bust. You know, do you know what? Yeah, I've got a question for you because I've got the list up. It's easy for me to do this, but
go on.
How many Pro Hall of Famers have we had in our whole history for the first round draft pick? It'd be hard to. I know, putting in an unrealistic question to get to ask on the fly, but
no idea. 3? I'll go for. I don't know.
Okay, not too far off, really. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
At 5, and obviously none of the guys we've mentioned since 2000 are in the Hall of Fame. All right, so not one of the guys we've mentioned. All right, one guy got traded as well. So that might give you a hint because he recently got in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
1999 draft pick. He was number 7 overall, cornerback. No, Champ Bailey.
Oh, Chat, yeah, obviously, yeah.
Champ Bailey.
Champ Bailey is,
Champ Bailey. He's the most recent one we've had.
Did he go to Denver?
Yeah, we traded him for Clinton Portis, didn't we?
That's right. Yeah, CP came in. Yeah,
it was awful. And then we got obviously what these are legends. You will know the names. You will know the names of these guys. Who's the draft pick in '83?
I have no idea, mate.
The top one of the biggest legends we've got.
Doug Deisman, not sure.
Darryl Green.
Darryl Green, obviously. Yeah, come on, man.
One of the biggest legends, and then we had Art Monk as well. A couple of years.
I would have thought Art Monk would have been thereabouts.
Yeah,
he's obviously a clearly Hall of Famer.
Only one of the posse.
But it's whether they're a first round pick or not. That's the bit I don't get.
Yeah, because obviously, when you go back that far, it's a bit like meh. You know, it is obviously. Unless you're like ridiculously into the draft.
Man, I wasn't even born in '83, so come on, man.
These guys know everything, man. I'm just testing your knowledge a little bit. You won't get 1964 Charlie Taylor, wide receiver, and then our very first one. I've got signed pictures of him.
Sammy.
Yes, Sammy Ball, exactly. Yeah, so 1937, he was our very first Hall of Famer.
Nice. So this episode then, mate, is what we're going to do with the 29th pick. So it's with the 29th pick. Now, obviously, we'll do a possible mock draft next week. We'll do another one before we both disappear to Green Bay, which will be pretty good to go. And we'll man, if we want to do a mock draft, I'm not sure.
You love a mock draft, you though.
I love a mock draft. I mean, I've probably bashed out about 15 already, to be honest.
I've not even done one yet. So it's...
To be fair, the question was from Yam, and he basically put a question into us, and he said, if the draft stays as they are, who are some value picks that you would like in the middle rounds? So I had to do a bit of research, and I have draft crushes, if you like, or people that I think, oh yeah, I really like this guy. I think he could be really good. So the first one is Carson Schweizinger, who is a linebacker out of UCLA, and I used the German pronunciation there.
German. Is that why you picked him?
No. Not at all. I do rate him.
rate him-
Ich liebe dich, mein Schmetterlinge. For all you German,
Hey,
all
man,
German
you're
listeners
from
out there.
German, how much people probably didn't know about you, actually.
Yeah, they do. I lived there for 10 years. For those who don't know, so I kind of grew up in Germany. So yeah, small world. Yeah, he's projected as a third rounder, which obviously we don't have a third round pick. But this is something that we can, discuss what we do at 29. Now, Ken Norton Jr. is obviously on our coaching staff.
The question was though, if everything's
Late round picks. I know, but I'm just going to go through these. I'm going to go through these anyway. So it's just Yam, and he's not even here. So
yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah, but maybe you don't know. So Ken Norton was his college coach. He ran a 4.70 40 time. He's 242 pounds, 6'2". Obviously, a tackle machine as well. So really high character tackle guy. This is someone who could come in and take over Bobby Wagner as the middle linebacker without a shadow of a doubt. The next one is White Mill. Yeah,
You think he's going to be that good?
No, as in like he can take over after learning from B-Wags is what I'm saying. He would be your replacement probably next year, but in a rotation with a fit McGee, that's you know what I mean. You're looking at saying, well, okay, that's shoring that linebacker room up because at the moment, as you said quite a lot, we're looking for depth and we're looking for realistically best player available at 29. And then throughout the draft, because we have holes, but we don't necessarily have to go for something. I mean, I have literally no idea what we're doing at 29. Whether we're going to draft down, whether we're going to try and trade down, whether we're going to draft offense, whether we're going to draft defense. I don't think there's a question because we still have holes throughout this roster, Scouse. I mean, what are your thoughts on what we actually do at 29?
I just think you've got to go for the best player available, but in a position of need. I think that's
always your saying. That's always your saying.
Yeah.
In a position of need.
It's just the best way of doing it. I think. No, the biggest hole in this team, as we all know, is an edge / pass
rusher. Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. So for me, I'd be looking at an edge right there. Mm-hmm. However, I would be looking at tackle as well. Just saying,
agreed.
Again, we do need depth as well, and the first rounder gets ham to kind of have a bit more of a. I know you expect your first rounders to start. You do. You're hoping that your first rounders are good enough to start for you straight away, but having just a little bit of time there that you could have in between, or you could put Coleman into guard, even though he probably will start right tackle, like Dan mentioned. But if you just cut it there, then you can put him in guard, and then you've got a ready-made tackle. You just drafted. See what I mean? So you've got options then, you see, where you don't have that right now. So I'll be looking at those two positions definitely at 29. Sure.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, another person I've thought about is White Millam. We've talked about him before from West Virginia. Offensive tackle. He's a right tackle, has played left tackle in the past, so there's a bit of versatility there. He ran a flat 5-second 40. He's 313 pound, 6'6". He is a beast. Obviously, he's powerful initially off the punch when you look at his tape. The only problem you have got is his anchor isn't necessarily 100% set yet because he's still young. I mean, he's 20. What is he? 21.
And you said 313. Did you say 313?
313 pounds. Yeah.
13. Yeah, it's not 330. Yeah. Okay. So
no.
Yeah. So you probably need to put a little bit of beef on as well. Being honest, because if you're going to play him tackle as well, I think you want to,
as a backup, like swing tackle if you want, or an offensive lineman chess piece. You could probably play anywhere. I don't think that's a bad pick. Now he's projected to go in the 4th round, but I've seen a lot of talk of him. So I actually think he'll go early 3rd. I think he'll be well and truly gone. I think he'll be gone.
Might be a bit too much for us because we don't have a 3rd. So what will we do is looking at a 2nd round. I can't see us throwing a 2nd round.
No chance. He's not a 2nd rounder. That's for sure. So but he's definitely worth a flyer if he's in the 4th round. Get it done. Yeah, another one I've got here is RJ Harvey Jr. He's a running back from UCF. He was a 4.40 on his running, his 40-yard dash time, 2:05, 5'8". He's projected to be a 5th or 6th rounder. Bit of a workhorse back more than anything. Kind of similar to Brian Robinson, but he's got the speed that Austin Eckler had probably 3 years ago. So he's a bit of both. He could probably give you, first and second down, but he's not going to give you an all 3 down back. You know what I mean? He's not one of them who's going to do everything. When I watched his tape and I had a little bit of a look at highlights, he kind of reminds me of all 3 of our running back. He's kind of got the speed of Austin Eckler. He's got the punch of Brian Robinson, who, he's got dudes hanging off him. And he's got the finesse out the backfield of catching the ball like not JD McKissick. McNichols, even. That's where I was going. JD McKissick was a few years ago. Man, I pulled that out of the bag. But yeah, so RJ Harvey, we need a running back potentially. I mean,
the thing is with that one is, if you're saying he could do all of it at a high level, then he won't be in the 5th round. There must be something, the reason why he's dropped that far. Either if he's that good, then he'd be a lot higher up in the draft.
He's not exceptional. No, do you know what I mean?
You want to be down back, you can be a pass catcher like you mentioned. So who wouldn't want one of those guys? So if he is as good as you say, he would be a lot higher up on the thing, on the draft order. So there's a lot of good running backs this year, though. As well.
There is. That's it. There's a deep running back class this year.
5th rounder. I mean, I'm not expecting miracles from a 5th round pick. Potentially.
Same.
But we do need a running back, I could say, because I think this is B-Rob's last year. I think it'll be his last year here with us. I don't think we'll re-sign him, unless it's like for a cheap deal. I can't see us re-signing him, unfortunately. And same with Eckler. I think, unless he out of his skin and stays healthy, then I don't think he'll be back next year either. So,
and I don't think they trust Rodriguez enough. You know what I mean? To keep going.
No, I mean they say they like the guys because they're all a little bit different, and they are a little bit different to each other. But still, our run game was 0 last year, especially the second half of the last season. It was poor. Now again, this is just on the backs, but still, those guys are the ones who get paid to get through those holes, to get touchdowns, all the rest of it, and they weren't doing it. Let's face it. So they're definitely on the hot seat. All the running backs, I think.
Agreed. Another one that we've got is Jonas Sanka, who's a free safety out of Virginia. He ran a 4.42 at the 40-yard dash. He's 2:06 and 6'1". He was scouted by us at the Senior Bowl. He excels at reading the backfield. He's a very good tackler, but he can get caught up in coverage a little bit sometimes from time to time, which is a coachable trait. And he likes to lay the wood. And sometimes if he lays the wood, he can get caught. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes he's more involved in the play than he should be necessarily, which is why he's a projected 4th rounder.
Right.
Now, obviously, these are just projections. Do you know what I mean? When you look, so you never know. Again, he may be a 3rd rounder. He may end up in the 5th. You don't know. But again, could we use someone at free safety as depth? Absolutely, we could. Because you can't just rely on Quan Martin to be there. Because behind Quan Martin, I mean, what have we got? Percy Butler. We lost, obviously, Jeremy Chin. We've got Will Harris in. There's not a great deal than that we've got.
Isn't he more of a strong anyway? Or is he more free safety, Will?
Will's a strong safety, yeah. But that's what I mean. Yeah. When you look at the safety room as a whole and you go strong and free, I mean, who else have you got? I mean, Reeves?
Yeah, I mean, in a pinch, yes. But shouldn't be. He's special teams, and let's face it. I mean...
we are probably discounting our good friend Tyler Owens here, our guy who...
I just haven't seen him. You just haven't seen him? You don't know what he's about, really?
Well, he's on the special teams, and they love him on specials, but is it maybe he's a breakout candidate this year? You don't know, do you? You don't know.
Sometimes all it needs is a guy to get an opportunity to actually play in the defense properly, and get more than just a couple of snaps here and there. Actually playing properly, like starting the game, play the whole game, learn the position properly and be at that level and hope that these guys can do it, especially if they're young enough. Now, Reeves is I think he's about 30, 31 now, Reeves, something like that. So I obviously won't be him, but definitely look into, say, an Owens and see what he can do.
Well, I'll never forget he was a perfect 10 RAS score. So the only other person who's ever played at safety with a perfect 10 RAS score was Jeremy Chin.
Was it Jeremy Chin? Mm-hmm. Okay.
He was the only other one that's ever come out of the draft with a perfect 10 RAS score. Wow. Him and Tyler Owens are the two. And obviously Tyler Owens is a complete undrafted free agent. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we paid him. He was a priority one. But you just think, okay, what are we doing here? Valiant says, I'd like to trade back, otherwise take a linebacker or running back. Rumours of Robinson to be traded. Yeah, I've heard a bit of that as well. Like some whistlings in the wind, if you want to put it that way. But I don't think that happens.
Who would trade for him, and what would you get for him?
A packet of crisps and,
yeah.
Like a handshake.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean that's the hard part because yes, running backs. When you trade running backs, you get zero value.
Yeah,
running back unfortunately that position's been like devalued so much over the past 10 years.
I'm not sure. I think it's on the way back since obviously we look at people like Jahmyr Gibbs, we look at Saquon Barkley doing his thing. I think it's
but. They're
elite.
They're different. Yeah, they're different. Yeah, exactly. It's and even then, when you're looking at guys getting paid, I mean, like 20 years ago, running backs were like the high-paid dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they were.
Nowadays, it's the receivers and the running backs are getting pittance really, and let's face it, their careers are shorter than anybody else's because of the amount of contact they get. So it's man, it's tough for the running backs unless you're like a stud like Barkley. And even Barkley got messed around with at the Giants.
Yeah, he did. I mean, that's ridiculous, but that's the Giants all over anyway. Deluxe, the B-Rob trade rumours were probably a week or so ago. I heard some sniffing around on Twitter, but I haven't heard anything since then, to be fair. It is speculation by fans. Denver and Arizona were the two teams I'd heard, but... yeah, you're not getting much as Scouts said there.
You'd be looking at a 7th rounder at best.
Yeah, I think so.
Why would you? He's got 1 year left on his deal.
Might as well play him. We need him. We need him actually. So
yeah, at the moment we do. You don't have a starting running back. Let's face it.
Exactly. Another one that I've got 3 more here to go through. Quincy Riley, cornerback out of Louisville. He was a top 30 visit for us. He ran a 4.42. In his 40, he is exactly 6 foot. He's 194 pound, projected 6th rounder. He's got elite ball skills, consistently jumping routes and creating turnovers. He's a projected nickel corner. Now, where have we heard that before, Scouse? Because when I read his write-up from most of the scouting reports and I watched his tape, he reminded me of Emmanuel Forbes. Exactly, that was Emmanuel Forbes. I looked and went, wow. And then I actually went back and reread Emmanuel Forbes' like write-up, and it was so similar. I was like, wow, okay, this is quite ridiculous. You know what I mean? And then
first rounder to a 6th rounder, probably, or 5th rounder, what he's probably projected that guy.
Yeah. So he's looking at 6th. So as a flyer, back to Yam's question. As a 6th rounder, I'd take him, mate. Yeah, definitely. And do we need a cornerback? Yes, we need to still fill that room out. Absolutely. But you can't have 3 nickel corners and hope for the best. Do you know what I mean? It's just because if you're looking at that, you're then saying, well, Mikey, you're definitely staying outside. Because in a moment, it's going to be what? Mikey, Jones, and Lattimore is going to be your 3 with Noah backing them up, which actually is fantastic depth. When you look,
season's already. So.
Who was it last year? Michael Walker, Saint Ghost, Forbes, and who was 24? Who was number 20? Yeah, 24. Who was 24? The guy we got from the Chargers. Davis. That's who it was. Mike Davis. Yeah. Wow.
It's already better already. And they only made one move.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy from New England that you mentioned.
Yeah, Jones. Yeah, good play.
It's already better. So you saying no, I thought that was important. Being honest, I thought it was a good sign.
I did too. So looking back, then
I think he'd be the backup. I think he'd be, as you mentioned, he'd be the backup.
Which is a backup. Yeah,
perfect for him. I think that'd be perfect.
Agreed. Quincy Riley, though, because he's had a top 30 visit, obviously there must be some interest there. Also talked to him as well at the Senior Bowl, so there's definite interest there from him.
Or is that all smoke and mirrors, just like Peter?
It could be. But if you look at the guys they drafted last year, was it 5 of the draft picks were top 30 visits? So there's got to have something there. You know what I mean? There's got to be something there to say, yeah, they were
They
there.
must like him to a certain extent, for sure.
This is one I really like, and probably out of all of these, this is my favourite. That I think, yeah, this guy is the one that I would look to go for, and it's Joshua Gray, who's an interior offensive lineman out of Oregon State. Scouted for us at the Shrine Bowl. He's also a top 30 visit. He can play any guard position and centre. He's 6'5", 300 pounds. He ran it again like the other offensive lineman. He ran a 5-second flat 40, which was the fifth fastest 40-yard dash at the combine out of any lineman. He's a projected sixth rounder. So again, similar traits to the other offensive lineman. Very good at pass blocking. Very good in with his hands. His hand placement is very good. So the pad level is very good when you watch his tape and you look at him. The problem again is the anchor. Is necessarily if you've got big defensive linemen interiorly going against him, he might struggle with a bull rush from the inside. Now, you don't want that, obviously, if you're a centre, because the fastest way to the quarterback is over the top of the centre. You know what I mean? If you can throw him out of the way, that's fine. But ideally, you're hoping that Biadasz is going to be the number one centre there. But having the versatility of saying, yeah, you can plug him in at right tackle, you can right guard, left guard, or centre. That's fine for me. Do you know what I mean? And especially...
The thing is, though, I like versatility, but I also like guys who have got high-level play.
Yeah.
Even if you said to me, look, you should be able to play anywhere along the line. If you've always been a right guard, for example, in your whole career at college, high school, going into the NFL, stick a right guard. Just keep him a right guard. Yeah. I know what he could play left guard. He's never played it in his life. Yeah. So this is what I mean. It's like I want a guy who's actually, even though he might be only a specialist in one position, especially like a lineman or the defense or offense, it's still, I'd rather have a guy who's at a higher level in one position rather than having a guy who's mid at three positions. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather have that better guy. So,
I get that, but you've got to build depth somehow, and this is the thing where we're looking at.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, speaking about depth and potential players, what about Desmond Watson? What do you think about him?
No, I don't know anything about him.
Okay, so you remember the big, massive guys like 450?
Oh, yeah, from Florida. Yeah. I do know him. Yeah, of course. Sorry.
He's a nose tackle, so really good against tush push, potentially. No, one way to try and defend it.
Who is the guy we brought in from Chicago as a nose tackle, though? Free agent.
Goldman.
Yeah, is it Goldman? Yeah, Goldman. There you go. But obviously, he's getting old. So, yeah, I can see that.
This guy's going to be a late rounder. I mean, because he's just too big. You just don't know. You're going to get like one player game, like one player drive off him or whatever it is. You're not going to get loads and loads of plays. But I think like he'd be perfect for the touch push. I think he really would. On those situations, just bring him in for that because they've got a liar to substitute if the offense does. So, which they will. The Eagles always substitute during the touch push. So we get a big meat, absolute beast. Get him in there. So, I mean, and saying he might go like 7th round, 6th, 7th round. I mean, I'll take a flyer at 7th round on him if he's still there.
100%. So Deluxe says agree partially, Scouts. I want my starters on the O-line to be primarily one position. Prefer depth to be able to play multiple spots. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm with you, Deluxe, there as well. I want my starters to be, yes, I am a starting left tackle. Yes, I am a starting centre. Yes, and so on. And then I agree with you.
You don't move them around unless like pure injuries. You know what I mean? Like just don't move them.
And then going back to the
one position. Stop messing around.
Going back to the B-Rob chat, Deluxe says, not to get what he's worth anyway. Can't wait for B-Rob to silence his critics behind an improved line. B-Rob was top 12 in YAC ranking yards before contact was low. Improved lineup will help. I don't disagree with that, mate. I think it's a bit of both, and that's been part of the problem with the running back. As rumours we've talked about, it isn't necessarily always the running back's fault. You've got a mobile quarterback, straight away. That's going to cause issues if you're a running back because you don't know what Jaden's going to do with his legs. And then you've got an offensive line that was moving and doing a lot of good things through the first 5 weeks. I mean, we saw it live, against the Giants game. B-Rob had a monster game that day. And you're like, okay, is this where we're going to end up? but towards the end, it just decidedly he got worse. And I'm with John Taman on this, and you've said it as well, Scouse. I like B Rob. I think he's a good running back. I think he gives you everything you need. He's got the potential, but he somehow just doesn't necessarily have the best vision. He's always up an lineman's arse. And I'm like, what are you doing? There's a hole there that you can bounce outside of and you can see it, and he just doesn't find it. He just runs
angry.
I think
he has a bit of patience as well.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Like when I see like really patient running backs, I'm talking like prime Le'Veon Bell, for example.
Kamara, yeah.
But he just run up and then he just stand behind the line, waiting for that hole. That's how patient he was, and then he's gone. As soon as the half a gap was there, he was gone. That's how good Le'Veon Bell was in his prime. But he was really, really good. And you need someone like that. And B-Rob isn't that. Let's face it.
Do you think it's down to? I don't know. Do you think it's down to not, like you said, patience, or is it that explosiveness off one pace? And what I mean by that is if you can have an instant bounce off a foot and I'm gone, you know what I mean? That burst of, oof, I'm away. And it's not necessarily building up speed, gradually like a 100-meter runner would be. It's can you get out the blocks on that initial start and then be, poof, I'm gone.
Yeah, they're the ones who are rapid. That's like you.
Pete Peterson was like that, man.
Yeah,
he was ridiculous.
I call him Dick Turpin. The guy who killed us on the punt return.
Yeah, I know you're about.
Cavonte
Turpin, Dick Turpin. Hey, at least Dick Turpin wore a mask, a robbing bastard.
But he wore a mask as well, didn't he?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But yeah, it's just a case of that's acceleration, that's rapid. That's what you need when you're running back. You need that real burst. You're either an absolute beast of a running back and you run through guys, or you're those other kind of guys who's got that kind of that instant burst. And we don't have that guy with the real instant burst. The closest guy we've got is Eckler, but if we had him 5 years ago, yeah, that'd be different, But no, unfortunately, injury caught up with him, and he's not as electric as he used to be. So for me, it's just kind of, I say there's so many reasons. You mentioned some of them before. There's so many reasons why running back can fail in one place and be good in another team.
Yeah, absolutely. And Deluxe looks like he's one of B-Rod's biggest fans, and I get that, mate. I completely understand. And this is no dig at him at all. There's lots going on that cause it to happen, and I don't disagree with you at all. He's saying he doesn't think the line was consistent and the holes, holes don't open.
Yeah, there wasn't any holes. Let's face it, especially the second half of the season. Now, correct. I don't know if that's just because of injuries or guys are playing banged up, or the play calling was probably the same than it was in the first half of the season, but we actually performed better on the O-line that first kind of 5-6 weeks.
Yeah,
you should all rip at me saying, "While he's even looking good now."
Yeah, he was, but it's tape. It's tape as well, isn't it? You've got to remember that people won't have seen the schemes that Cliff's running. It's a brand new season. Players need time to get adjusted and acclimated, and then it's like 5 weeks in, it's boom. Look at yourself, and I knew it as well. When I'm playing pre-season or I'm playing the first 2, 3, 4 games of a season, playing rugby or whatever I'm playing, I am pretty shit. And then you get used to it, and your body gets used to how you're getting hit, where you're getting hit, what you can and can't do, and you get used to the rough and tumble of it. And then after 5 weeks, everyone's like, boom, I'm in. And that maybe has been part of the problem where we're looking at, I'm watching Pat McAfee and they get offensive lines getting offensive line of the week, and it's like bad men, and I'm like, fucking hell, this is great, top 10 offensive line, and you're like, wow.
But deep down, we know. Well, I knew deep down that it wasn't good enough. The Allegretti's was a backup at KC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right tackle Wiley, my problems with him. So straight away, you're thinking, and then you're thinking you've got a rookie at left tackle.
Yeah.
Hoping that he's good, but you just don't know what he is yet. And you're thinking, the only solid guys you've got is your centre and your right guard. And the problem is with the centre is that he is injury prone.
And the right guard's got an ACL.
And Cosby's out now for ages. So yeah, man, we're still trying to fix that. But yeah, I just think I'd say there's so many things. It is, yes, probably is part of it is injuries. Keep a rotation of players. Play calling is probably another one. JD trying to do it all himself because he has to, because he's, let's face it, when the running game just stopped, it just went to an absolute halt after about week 12, something like that. We just had nothing after that. And it was all on JD's legs to keep us going. And the odd pass, I'd pass to Eckler or to B-Rob, who did okay in the passing game. Because you just could not get open, we could not create anything for the running backs to actually run the ball.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Last person I'm going to mention as a draft prospect that I want to see, most likely an undrafted free agent, but if he's still on the board and we've got an extra seventh from somewhere, I may well draft him. And it's kicker out of Miami, Andreas Borregales, I think is how you pronounce his surname. 18 out of 19 on field goals, 62 of 62 extra points in 2024. Now, he is going to be a definite priority undrafted free agent or a very late seventh rounder. Now, normally the rule is you don't draft a kicker. We've seen it happen in the past, but dude, we are desperate for a kicker. I mean, I like Gonzo. I think he's great. My issue with kicker is if we can get it to 45 or we can get it to just this side of 50, we'll be fine. But
it's 50.
It's when you get past 50, that's when it causes a problem.
Yeah. I
look at this guy, and of his 19 kicks that he had last season, obviously 18 were through. 7 of them were over 53. 7 of them, and all 7 were made.
It's. I think nowadays as well is that the newer kickers out there, yes, they might be a bit more inexperienced and stuff, and maybe they're used to pressure kicks, etc., etc. But they are a lot better longer distances now. Like these guys are kicking the ball decent distance now, like 50, 60 yarders through the post quite easily. Like they've got the legs. It's just about the accuracy and the consistency.
Look at Aubrey at the Cowboys, man.
And he came from the XFL, didn't he?
He did.
UFL, it was. Yeah, I mean that was like one of the biggest steals of all time. That guy's near enough automatic from no matter where it is. 65 yards in, you could do it. But there is a kicker that I do like, but he wouldn't. I think this guy will get drafted. I do think he'll get drafted probably 5th round. I do. I think he'd be quite high up. Ryan Fitzgerald from Florida State.
Yeah, I know the one you're on about. Yeah,
he's another beast. I mean, you look at. Last year, made every field goal.
This guy missed one. I mean, it's okay.
I was to say these guys are getting better and better. I mean, so last year he was 13 for 13, and he had 5 from 50 plus. His longest was 59. So and then the year before he was 19 out of 21. As long as there was 53 as well. So this guy's got like a decent enough leg. So yeah, it's just one of them, man. It's kind of. I think these guys are. I think Fitzgerald gets drafted. Your guy might get drafted as well. Maybe the 7th rounder or something. I mean, obviously the biggest bust of all time was that kicker
who went in the first round.
Second round, Arroyo from Tampa. Then Tampa.
Yeah, it was Tampa. Yeah.
Absolute bust and hell. That's what he was. Absolute nightmare. But
so Deluxe says kicker. It should be UDFA is what I prefer. Would prefer to use the 7th round pick in a package to improve other picks. Don't say that. Don't say that, because I have nothing to announce. Cheers, Deluxe. Oh no! All I know is I got to announce a day 3 pick, so we'll wait and see what happens. But as the boys keep telling me and everyone on social media, we won't have any picks left because we'll have traded them all up to gain something. I don't know. But yeah, man,
I just can't see. The thing is with obviously undrafted free agents that anyone can take them.
Correct, yeah. That's the problem then. And it's what are you paying?
Yeah. I mean,
now, don't get me wrong. We did well. We did well. I don't know if I'm doing a 7th Deluxe. I'm not sure on that one, but it's definitely a day 3 pick. So we'll wait and see what happens. But yeah, I mean, what else have we got? 6th or 7th? That's it. Yeah. So, and I don't think they're going to do the 6th rounder, but we'll wait and see. Just give me an easy name, John Smith from Iowa, please.
Imagine they give you the 1st rounder.
No, can't behave yourself.
Imagine that.
That it's
Prime
the
time,
obviously
bro.
obviously
Prime
the commish does that every year, so it's not for us. No, that's
yeah.
second
Oh.
round. There was even Darryl Green last year. So was no Darryl Green? Darryl Green announced Mikey Samerstill, didn't
first.
he? Yeah,
Yeah, he was second rounder, wasn't it? Exactly. Second rounder.
yeah. So we'll go live out there, Scotty. Yeah, we'll go live out there, mate. What
Yeah,
we're going to
gonna,
do just to let you know is we're going to do a little bit of a vlogging guide while we're out there, and we'll upload bits and bobs to the socials and to shorts on YouTube. But we will go live. We'll go live while we're there. We're hoping that the Wi-Fi will be okay, but we'll wait and see what happens, mate, because it's going to be quite difficult, I think. But you've got your beast of a camera, haven't you, as well? So we'll wait and see what happens.
The camera's just the top
standard,
one.
Is it?
Oh, the stand one. I've got the camera's alright. It's just about the going live. It's obviously got to pay for that 5G.
Yeah,
UK
true.
or the States. So we'll see. Yeah. So how much gigabytes you get and stuff. That won't absolutely rinse you, because going live via your phone's going to be quite nasty, and that's even if the signal's good enough, because there's going to be thousands of people standing there anyway. So,
yeah, exactly.
If they got Wi-Fi and it's good, then yeah, we'll go live. Sure, definitely. But we'll see.
Yeah, but Deluxe says here, they say that third day, in case picks get shifted around, you'll get one, and I'm personally pulling for the longest name possible for all consonant and vowels. Yeah, don't tell me that. Yeah, don't tell me that, but there you go.
You missed him trying to mention our new IPP guy, so imagine something like that. That'd be great.
TJ, yeah.
TJ, blah, 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 blah.
I'm going to try and announce it. I'm going to try and do it again. What was he called? Oh my word! No, I'm not. No. Maguranyuraga. Oh, yeah, that's hard. Yeah, TJ the Zimbabwean. That's fine. I'm happy with that. You know what I mean? It's no problem at all. But there you go. We'll get into fan questions then, mate, while we're here. So thanks, Yam, for that long-winded question that took us about 25 minutes to answer. But yeah, we appreciate you, buddy. Paul Marshall, who is at Commander Paul 81 on X, go and give him a follow. He says, if anything, what have we got in Kinlaw that we didn't have in Jonathan Allen?
Well, I think size is one. The guy's a mountain. I think also that this guy can actually play edge properly. I mean edge is in like set the edge, the end edge.
Yeah, he can set the edge. Yeah.
And I think where Allen couldn't really do that. Let's be honest. He was always kind of a pass rusher up the middle, and yeah, he did okay. But Kinlaw's different. He is different. Now again, it is a risk. This guy, I am taking. I'm believing in DQ and Joe Witt and Peters with this one, because he didn't really do much for the Jets last year. He was pretty bang average, to be honest. I'm just hoping that they didn't use him properly, and we know exactly how to use him. I know Peters knows him from San Francisco before he went to the Jets, so I'm just crossing my fingers that he's actually going to be exactly what we need and produces what we need, because
plus
he's my grey area guy at the moment.
Yeah, I get you. He's younger, he's cheaper as well.
Well, yeah,
I know it's a business. I get that, but
how much cheaper though is he really? I know Allen got paid when he went to Minnesota, but I mean, how much is Kinlaw?
Well,
sure, it's like 16 mil.
7 mil this year against the cap.
Oh, on the cap, yeah. But I mean, his contract's like 3 years,
45
or something like that, isn't it? Yeah. So I know all that's not guaranteed, but still, yeah, it's still going to be about 12 per year. I know
something like that, yeah.
But yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, I just hope he's exactly what they're looking for, and hope that he can actually utilize him properly. And because at the moment I'm like, that's the guy I'm a bit about.
So realistically, though, if you look at it, it's a 2-year deal. You know, if it goes wrong, we can get out of it.
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah, 2, can't you?
Yeah. After next year, it's a 2, and you've paid him 20 mil. So it's 10 mil a year, which even at 10 mil a year, that's 7 million. 8 million saving on what Jonathan Allen was getting here.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of yeah. So yeah, so it's not. It's obviously not a crippling contract in any way, shape, or form. It's just a case of that I think that was the most expensive contract we did in free agency.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. In fact, yes, it was.
So because I think he's
not what we've inherited because we've inherited Tunsil's deal, which is.
Oh yeah. We didn't pay him that, but obviously he will get paid probably as well soon himself. He's got 2 years left on his original deal. I think he wants to be paid before he plays for us. But yeah.
On that then, what are you thinking? Because I know we're going off topic, and Paul, thank you for your question, mate. I hope that answers it. But we like this when we start talking, it ends up like the pub, and we start opening up, little questions about what do you think about this and what do you think about that. Who gets paid first then? Because obviously Terry, we're expecting to get paid in the off season, and we think that will happen, and that's that done.
I think he's first. To be honest,
no, I mean, Terry's obviously going to get first, but obviously Debo hasn't played it down, Tunsil hasn't played it down. Other people need to get paid as well, maybe on a lesser contract, but Lattimore's going to want money as well. We got a lot of these contracts coming up, man, where it's going to be
restructured Lattimore.
Quite hard.
We didn't add years, but didn't we restructure him?
Nope.
Or we're making that up?
Nope, not restructured.
Okay, I thought you restructured him, but I mean that's what I mean. Yeah, it's a tough one, but it's one of the things for me. Debo, he got restructured, so he got all this money up.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
A few million extra as a potential bonus. So he won't be getting another one just yet. He'll have to play out with skin, I think, to get a new contract with us. I think Terry's definitely going to get paid. Who's the one you mentioned? Lattimore,
Tunsil.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard one. That one. It depends how much he's going to kick off, if that makes sense, to the ownership and to the players. As in, like, look, man, you just traded for me. I want a solid deal right now. I want like 4 years. Blah blah blah.
I don't think he does. I don't think he does.
Or is he going to be like, because he is his own agent, by the way. So that's the other thing. So. Or is he just going to be like, I'm happy to play this year on the deal I've got, and then next year?
No, I think that's already came out as saying what I was thinking was both Debo and obviously Tunsil, as we talked about there. I think they are definitely playing this year on their current deals. But when it comes to the off season next year, and we're sitting here this sort of time, that's when you start thinking, shit, what have we got to do with these players? Because let's just say Laremy Tunsil continues to be the behemoth, one of the best left tackles in the entire game that he is, and he has that sort of season. What are you paying him, man? Because he's going to want a lot of money.
Yeah. I thought you meant like as in who's first and second. Yeah, I think. I mean Tunsil. I mean, let's face it. If he is anything like a top 5 left tackle, like he has been most of his career, it's kind of
25 mil a year.
Easy, because it's an elite position. It's one of those main positions that you need. You need a top left tackle. You find out when you don't have one. You know what I mean? We've seen it. This year, last year,
But we've also been blessed in the past where we've had amazing left tackles.
And we've had solid left tackles, haven't we? We mentioned Chris Samuels earlier. And then we had
Trent
left. So we've had like top left tackles until recently. So we need to get back to that. And I think I'd say Tunsil's it. If he plays anything like it, he's 30 now, I think. He'll be 31 next year when his contract will be up. Or, when he needs to be renewed, let's face it, because he won't play in his last year of his deal.
So you're probably looking at a 3-year extension, aren't you?
Yeah, 3-year extension, probably 80, probably something like that. I think it'd be quite high. Because it's a premier position, and he's not old yet.
80 with 50 guaranteed, that sort of money. Yeah.
Probably even more, maybe 70, 60, 65 guaranteed. Yeah, it'd be quite high. I think it'd be definitely in the 20s on average per year. 20.
He's in 20 now. He's 20 million now against.
Yeah. I mean, so it's going to be like 25, 24, 25 guaranteed. So
and I think next year it's 22. Yeah, and that would be the final year of his current deal.
That will be so let's face it. If he's going to negotiate,
that's the minimum.
That's going to be the minimum of his contract. He's going to want. Well, I'm on 22 this year if I don't do anything else. So that's the minimum per year he wants. So it's going to be at least that. So you're going to be looking at, I reckon, that 24, 25 mark if he's played well.
That's a serious amount of wedge in it. But there you go.
A lot of money, but
you need it. Premium position needed.
That's why you pay the guys who are producing, and especially premium positions. They're the players you should be paying. You shouldn't be paying your defensive tackle 25 million a year, 22 million a year, whatever the hell it is. Even if he has been good, of course it's a position, a good position, but it's not the premier position. It's not the cornerback. It's not the left tackle. It's not the quarterback. It's not one of them. So you shouldn't be paying those guys that really, unless they are massively destructive, like a Chris Jones or something like that. That's different. But if you haven't got one of those guys, the other guys aren't worth that kind of corn. So
yeah. Agreed. Scott G's asked us a question. He says, "Are you all packed for your draft trip?" The answer is no. I have got this lovely fleece-lined 1 Point Safety Show hoodie that I'm taking with me, so that'll be quite interesting. And yeah, we'll see what we get when we get there. But it is going to be weird, as in the temperatures. 16 at times during the day, and then 0 at night time. It's like,
are we talking Celsius or Fahrenheit here?
Celsius.
Okay, so that's not too bad. 16's all right.
Yeah, during the day it's decent, but it's like brilliant. But then you get to the night time and it's like, hang on a minute, it's 0. What? It's like summer and spring all rolled into one. It's like, this is totally bizarre. But there you go. So no, I'm not packed, Scott, to be honest with you, not yet. Nowhere even close. But we will look at that after Easter. I will do it the night before I'm due to go. Same as me. Yeah. And then he says, odds on that your name pronunciation or other mishaps if you get to announce a pick. I don't want my trousers to fall down. Obviously, that will be viral, which will be quite interesting. And as Deluxe said as well, please don't give me a name like I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's just I'm not interested in a multi-syllable name. Thanks, John Smith, Iowa. That's fine. I mean, absolutely no problem. You'll be fine, Deluxe says. Green Bay weather is just in your head. Maybe, lots of cheese to eat, fried cheese curds and whatever else. But we'll see. We'll see. Canada Mike's put a few questions in for us. His first one said, "Are you bored with predictability of being so good we may only lose 8 games in the next 4 seasons?" Now, he was right with his 12 wins, so we've got to take this kind of seriously. Jesus, Mike, if it was 4 losses in eight losses in 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean 2 losses. Yeah, okay.
Winning is never boring, mate. Winning's never boring, no matter how many times.
No, it's not.
So I'm all for it, man.
But there's more to talk about.
I'll jump on it with you.
There's more to talk about when it's when you're losing. And Deluxe is absolutely right. Canada Mike's comments are fire. Absolutely. Next one. The next one, he says, USC DB Jalen Smith, yes or no? Now, I looked at Jalen Smith. He's a man press corner. He ran a 4.43 40, 5'11". So quite undersized, 187 in pounds as well.
Not bad for corner, left 5'11". You want to be 6++, but it's not too far off. Really.
He is a undrafted free agent projection. So
really?
Do I have a problem? Yeah. Do I have a problem with it? No, not even in the 7th. Fine. No. But I actually think he will go a lot higher. I think he'll end up in the 6th round. I do think he'll be.
I thought he'd be draftable for sure. And obviously Jaden knows him from USC. It's USC, isn't he?
USC, yeah.
USC, yeah. That's where Jaden was from. So he knows about him. I'm sure he'll give Peter some ideas on if he's any good or worth drafting for us. But say he's a press man corner / central free safety type or nickel maybe.
Yeah. Another nickel, no thanks.
Yeah, nickel. We've got quite a few of those positions. I think. But he is meant to be pretty good with press man. That's his main thing. And we would like to play press man. We just never had the corners to do it. So potentially he could fit our scheme. But again, it's why not? I mean, if guys are suited to your scheme, they might only be good for you, if that makes sense. So some of these guys you might draft somewhere else and they're god awful. Other time, then they find a scheme. It just works perfectly. Do you know what I mean? And you could be a 7th rounder who has a good career still. Just because you're in the right system that suits your skill set, rather than trying to learn something new that you're not really good at. So he would suit our system, because we want to play press man, but we just haven't been able to do it properly.
Agreed. Canada Mike's final question. He says, do we take Shamar Stewart at 29? Obviously, don't know if you know the background, but I'll give you a little bit here. So he's Texas A&M. He was scouted at the Senior Bowl, and he was also one of our top 30 visits. He can play inside or at edge. 4.59 was his 40 time. He's 6'5", 267. Mid first round prospect. Apparently, on most consensus draft boards, he's the 4th best edge, and 16th overall is where they kind of place him. He's got elite athlete. He's an elite athlete with rare bend. He walks tackles back with his raw power, which is awesome to see. But a problem with him, mate, is the production just does not meet the athletic traits. 4.5 career sacks. That's it.
And that's in 3 years, or 4 years of college.
Yeah, I mean, but you look at his last year, 39 pressures he had in 2024, and then you think to yourself, fucking hell, this guy should be, 10, 12 sacks a season.
He's not finishing, is he? He's not finishing, so that's a problem.
He just can't finish.
That's a problem.
4.5 sacks in 4 years at college.
Because it's all well and good having a guy with great...
Was it 4 or 3? I can't remember whether it was 3 years or 4 years. I can't remember.
I think he's 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. But that's exactly what I look at. I'm looking for an edge guy. I'm looking for how many sacks he's had, how many pressures he's had, and all those type of stats as well. Now I know things, quarterbacks can scheme away from you, and all those type of things, etc. And he does have good. As you said before, he does have a lot of elite traits.
He's amazing athletically.
But he doesn't have great hands. I've only seen a few clips, but he's not very good with his hands. His hand placement's not very good. Consistently, I mean. So, I mean, he's one of them guys that's like a high upside guy. But he could have a really low floor as well. Do you know what I mean? He could be really one of those 50-50 guys that could either be amazing or could just be a total bust. And I don't want that for my 29th pick. I don't want that kind of that massive risk. I want a guy who's been proven he's been able to do it over a few years at a high level production. Because otherwise, I know you could go off 1 year or at least athleticism. You could even talk about Mike Green in the same scenario with that. He's got fantastic, physical attributes. Only played the position for 1 year though, whatever it was, and also he's got loads of red flags.
Yeah, lots of off-field stuff,
off-field issues. So. But again, if you're going to go just purely picking off the traits, then, you're picking a Mike Green type of guy. But I don't want any of them to be honest.
Neither do I. This is the real quandary at 29, because we've put that obviously as a title, as we said. What do we do, with the 29th pick? What are we doing? I genuinely, for the first time in a long time, I'm completely stumped with where we go here. And it's not because... oh yeah, you're picking late and we've had a great season and all this and you can just go best player available. I just think this draft is so hard to understand and to get involved with, where anything from 15 to 30, there's no real difference in what you're picking, as in the standard of players. It's not deep and on players that you're like, oh yeah, I know this, I know that. Like last year, for example, yes, it was really good for quarterbacks, but it was really good for wide receivers as well. You knew straight away, Thomas, Malik Neighbors, you were like, yeah, these guys, Harrison, yeah, these guys are gone. And you could probably realistically draft and pick where they were going to go. You knew they were elite talent. Whereas, as you said, you've got these elite talent edge rushers and they've all got red flags. Or you've got these tweeners between being a defensive tackle and an edge rusher. A Kinlaw, for example, that is exactly who he reminds me of, Stewart. But he's got more athleticism, which is brilliant. But again, 4.5 sacks, it's not for me. There's issues with every single player that we look at here.
And that's a career sack, not just last year's
correct.
sack.
Correct. Now, Armstrong, I don't think, has let us down on the other side, but he's not a number one edge rusher. And that's the problem. Yeah, Armstrong. And that's the problem. He's not a number one. He's not going to get you 10 sacks a season. He's just not.
No. And this is it, you see. It's kind of like it's the biggest glaring hole in our team. As in starting players, starting positions that you're thinking, I don't know who's going to play there. that's basically what that position is right now. So
Do
for
you-
me, I'm always looking. I'm looking for a 100% edge guy. But again, it can't just be. I understand the traits. I understand, but it's got to be more than that. It's got to be more than just. Because otherwise, you're just going to pick Mike Green, wouldn't you? If he was available, you'd pick him because he's got ridiculous traits. But you and was productive last season as well, so it wasn't just he's got traits. He actually did some production too. But for me, it's kind of it's difficult, man. But what people are saying is that edge on D end is actually quite deep this year, so you can still get a really good one at 29. None of the two guys we mentioned here. There's loads of names, but obviously they're escaping my head right now. But they're meant to be pretty good, still pretty deep, and meant to be deep at running back as well. That's meant to be the two main positions in this draft. That's really deep.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that rolls out. But for me, first thing I'm looking at is.
I mean, you're not getting Abdul. You're not getting Abdul Carter. You're not getting James Pierce. That's kind of.
Even he's got problems with finishing. You mentioned about he doesn't finish like our other mate.
Michael Williams out of Georgia, possibly. Then you're into the Nick Scortons, Jack Sawyers, Mike Green, and then Princely, and I can't even Anumalim. I can't even. No,
I have to give you him to announce that.
Yeah, man. Okay, now, but I don't think he'll be. I don't think he'll be too high. Probably, you might be able to get him in the second round, but there's not much difference between him and like a Jack Sawyer or a Nick Scorton. So it's a tough one, mate.
But they're good level players, though. They are good level players. It's just
absolutely
never had more production than that guy that Mike mentioned. So
Stewart, yeah.
So I'd rather have one of those dudes rather than Stewart. So yeah, I know it's hard because say you take everything with a pinch of salt and you're taking it's college, it doesn't matter. NFL's a different level, and it is 100%. It is. It's just a case of you can only go off what you see, isn't it? Really, what you see in the practices that they've probably been to see him practice. The combines, if they're at the combine, some of these guys, I'm sure they'll do. Peters knows exactly what he's doing, man. He is an elite drafter. So hopefully he picks right, and I think it's got to be an edge. It has to be an edge at first round, man. It just has to be. It's just the biggest glaring hole by a mile in our team.
Yeah,
I've even heard Deuce saying we should get a corner in the first. I'm thinking, would that shock me? Yes, that would shock me, but it doesn't mean it couldn't happen.
I've seen wide receiver being mentioned.
Yeah,
but what do you do with it? What do you do? I mean, would you even look to trade? I mean, if you're going to trade back, great, I understand that, and then you're picking up more draft capital, which is something that Peters wants to do. But have you got a dance partner? You know what I mean? And that's the other thing. Or do you even trade it away? Because we have to think about what we've done this season, Scouse. We've got Laramie Tunsil via trade. We've got Deebo Samuel via trade. Wide receiver, left tackle. Two positions that we thought we've got to solidify. We now need the edge. Do you give it all up for Trey Hendrickson? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I'm still...
The problem is with that one is, you know what you're getting, and you know what I like. I like having guys who know what
so do I.
I'd rather have a proven guy who knows what he's doing and proven it at the highest level. I'd rather have one of those dudes rather than a rookie with high loads of upside. I'd rather have a proven, ready-made product. But as you say, for him, even if he could get him for say the second round of our draft, even our first round, just the first. It's still $30 million a year that he's going to have to.
I know.
I don't think we can afford the first rounder and that kind of money.
Yeah.
So it's either one or the other in my book. But yeah, I mean, I think was it Deluxe who mentioned it as well about that there might not be any trade. Might not be many teams actually who want to trade up anyway, because it's such a weird draft this year.
Yeah, it was Jesse that mentioned it, and we'll get onto that.
Oh.
So he said, "I've been saying it takes two to tango. Now it's unlikely the team trades back. How do you see Peters trying to acquire more picks? Do we offense or defense round 2?" And he's making reference there, Jesse Martin of the Bleeding Burgundy podcast. If you haven't already, go and subscribe and listen to the Bleeding Burgundy. They are live tomorrow, and you will hear my dulcet tones on there as well. He said he was tweeting Ian Rappaport there, Rap Sheet, saying this is what it feels like. Not a lot of teams are trying to move up. Bucks GM Jason Litch said there have been years where he thought about trading down more than others. This year, it'll be all about what happens and who falls to them. He doesn't foresee as many teams wanting to trade up across the league. So, yeah.
Yes, so it's gonna be tough. I think the only let's face it, most teams you want to trade up into the back of the first round is either for a guy who's dropped massively for some reason or a quarterback. They're the only two things that they go for. So if you're thinking that maybe a Jackson Dart could be there,
that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
so you can get the 5th-year option. Sorry, that could be a trade partner. Then we could definitely get one of those. Maybe if the Giants have the balls and draft, say, Travis Hunter, for example, they could maybe try and get Jackson Dart later on, come back up into the first later on.
Yeah, maybe Cleveland do it as well. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, Cleveland, they're just screwed, aren't they, with their quarterback situation? They really have messed themselves up.
Jalen Milroe's been invited to the draft as well. So he's going to be there on night 1. So
I don't think he gets picked first round. There's no way. You're in me. Just come back on Friday.
See you Friday, lads.
Just see you Friday, because you're not going to be. You're going to be like the Will Levis from a couple of years ago. When he just sat there on his own.
Horrible.
That was awful.
That was horrible. Yeah, I do feel for these guys, man. You just think, you know what? This is your life, and you're going to have a balding middle-aged man from fucking Northumberland sitting, going, "And with the 7th round pick, man." Imagine it. Yeah. No.
Imagine he made him wait for 7 rounds. Imagine that he was just sat there for 7 rounds, like in the back room, like we would do in the first round.
You just go home, wouldn't you? You just go home. You just be like, "That's it. I'm done. I'm not having this."
100%.
But yeah,
some family mate rather than be sitting there like an idiot on your own or with 1 and 2 guys.
Exactly that. Our final question in Scouse is from Tim Towner. He said, "Subject of the week is overtime. The changes this year will ensure both teams get to have possession of the ball because there's only 10 minutes. The opportunity will not be the same, which begs the question, does the NFL switch to the college overtime plan or look at the rule again?" So instead of being a 15-minute period of overtime, it's obviously 10-minute periods, but both get to possession of the ball. I don't have a problem with this rule at all. Josh Allen, obviously, is the Josh Allen rule, isn't it? That's what they're kind of dubbing it, because there was that time he didn't get, obviously, to possess the ball in the playoffs. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with it. Bring it in exactly the same as what it is in the regular season. So what's the issue?
Yeah, if it's already the same in the regular season, why change it for the playoffs?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Or why have a different? Should I say why have a different than the playoffs?
And never understood that. Never understood that at all.
It's a bit silly. I mean, I understand you want to create excitement at times, and think, you get one shot and it's one opportunity, M&M's type thing, But
isn't it done? Isn't it done now though? If you score in overtime, that's it. You're out.
If you score a touchdown, it's done, isn't it? That's just how it works. Anyway, isn't it?
I don't know if that's just in the playoffs. I don't know if that's just in the playoffs now. So because obviously when we beat who did we beat? Was it in overtime? No. In we beat Atlanta, didn't we? In overtime by scoring a touchdown.
Yeah,
was that in the regular
season? Yeah.
Was that regular season? Yeah, it was regular season. So yeah, I don't know if they've gone to.
I just thought it was the same. I mean, I could be way wrong. I mean, I've not read into it. I'm not going to lie.
I'd have to read the rules again and have a look at that. That's a. I tell you what, Tim, we'll take that as homework and we'll bring that up next week, mate. Just as that, we'll definitely do that. But I'll definitely do my research on that one. Scouse, you got anything else, mate? Because that just about does us, I think. I mean, we're sitting here again, dude, and it's like, you know what, we've got nothing to talk about this week. And we absolutely thank everybody who's put a question in and everyone who's been in the chat. So, you know, Deluxe, Valiance, who's been with us all throughout this. We appreciate you being on. Karen, who's on with us as well. You know, people like Yam, Paul Marshall, Scott G, Canada Mike, Tim putting questions in. Lifeblood of the show. We can't thank you enough. We know it's boring. We know you've got better things to do with your day and with your time than sit here and listen to two Brits talk shite for an hour or so. But you know,
hey, speak for yourself, bro.
Hey, come on, mate.
You're the one who talks shit.
You're dropping facts. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, but
I dropped the knowledge, bro. I dropped the knowledge.
Straight bars. Okay.
Bars. Yeah, and then on Deluxe, you're saying I'm about to drive to the Caps game. What's that about, bro? What's that about going to the Caps game right now?
Good for him. Good for him. There you go.
No, man, it's too late now. Ovechkin's already broke the record. What are you going there for?
No, I love Ovi, man. That's a great. That's
one
game.
Who doesn't love a legend who breaks a record that's been there for like, buddy, 50 years, what the hell it is?
Unbelievable, mate. Unbelievable. Unreal. Yeah. But, you know, it's one of them. But yeah, man, how can we
prattle on for an hour and a half?
Yeah, I think so.
As he got older, he got more of a goal anger.
I think so, but there you go.
I'm saying he's bad at all. He's obviously great, but it's for me,
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree. Mount Rushmore worthy though, defo. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Anything further, mate, or are we just about done, bud?
Nah, we're done. I think, mate.
I think so too.
So next week could be our last one before we fly off.
It'll be the last one before we fly off to Green Bay, mate. Yeah, that'll be us. So it'll be interesting to get some, hopefully, some sort of itinerary.
Oh yes,
I've got nothing.
That's always important.
Yeah, we know where the flights are, but yeah, I was looking at that, and it's like 11 days till check in. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty good. So yeah, we'll wait and see, mate. We'll wait and see. But
it's gonna be epic, man. It's gonna be a long flight for us, though, isn't it? Well,
I'll meet you. Yeah, we'll meet you in Atlanta, mate, and we'll see how we go. But there you go. Because are you going via Chicago, or are you going to Atlanta as well?
Atlanta as well, man. Yeah, I'm on the same
nice.
flight, you fool.
Oh right, I thought you were on a different flight.
I'm on the same flight, man. What's that?
No, I thought you were on a different one. I thought you were on a bit earlier.
No, same flight, man.
Well, there you go. That'd be.
Maybe they found the flights out and everything's just whack me on it. Okay, we're not sitting together, but we're still on the same flight.
Cool. I'll walk down then and
come on your charger.
Come on your charger.
I'm gonna get my phone out and say, hey, you know what? Hey, Balls, you're gonna give me some first class.
Don't
upgrade me to the first class. You know what's gonna happen? You know I'm gonna ask that.
Yeah, well, why not? Do you know who I am?
Yeah, you know who I am. I'm number 2 on this podcast. International No Mark of the Year. That's me. Yeah.
It's International No Mark of the Year. International No Mark of the Year, Scouse Andy.
Yes.
Love it. All right, everybody. On that note, that does do us now. There you go. All right, everybody. We'll see you again the same time next week, 9 p.m. Tell your mum, tell your gran, like and subscribe, do all the good stuff. Thank you for being with us. We'll see you all soon.
Bye.